of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Dana. And I did push the record button, everyone. Yay.
Good job.
Okay. Let's do a roll call, please. Is Lena here?
Okay.
No,
Yep, Lisa's here doing it.
Oh, Lisa's doing it. Okay, Lisa.
Yeah. Alan?
Here.
Broughton?
Here.
DePalma?
Here.
Cordella?
Here.
Marshall?
Here.
Rumble?
Here.
Thurman?
Here.
Okay.
Okay. So at this time, we need to approve our agenda. Are there any questions, comments, or changes to our agenda tonight? Someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make the motion to approve as presented.
Second.
I'll go with Chris on that one.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Cordella to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Hearing none, motion carries unanimously, 7-0.
Got it.
Okay. The first thing we have this evening is a public hearing in truth and taxation. So we will be taking comments from citizens on truth and taxation only during the public hearing. So the first thing we need to do is open the public hearing. So I will need a motion by one of our board members to open the public hearing.
So
I'll
moved.
make that motion.
Was that Jason?
Yeah.
I got Jason.
Okay.
I'll support.
All right, thank you, Dana.
Okay.
All right, I have a motion by Trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by Trustee DePalma to open the public hearing for truth and taxation. And seeing no other discussion, we will go ahead and do a roll call, please, Lisa.
Sure. Rumble?
Yes.
Allen?
Yes.
Broughton?
Yes.
DePalma?
Yes.
Cordella?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. The public hearing is now open. Do we have any citizens? I see a couple out there that are here. So any citizens that would like to speak on truth and taxation, please say your name, and then I'll recognize you. Okay, I do not see anyone speaking up. I do not see anyone waving at me, wanting to talk. So I don't believe we have any citizens that would like to speak during our public hearing on truth and taxation. So one last chance. Any citizens? Okay, hearing none. We will now close our public hearing on truth and taxation. I'll need a board member to make that motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll support.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
I have a motion by Trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by Clerk Allen to close the public hearing for truth and taxation. So we'll do another roll call, please, Lisa.
Sure. Allen?
Yes.
Broughton?
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. The public hearing is now closed. And at this time, we will get into our reports. We have our regular treasury report. We have our general ledger report, our designated report, our reconciliation report. We have a building department report, and we have the building director here. So would the building director like to add anything to the report that's in our packet?
I believe the report is self-explanatory. We are still holding our own with revenues for the year. Actually, we're above where we were last year. So COVID, in as much as has hurt a lot of people, it really hasn't seemed to have impacted the building department from a financial standpoint. We are busy with complaints due to all the rain the other day, but we're just staying very busy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We also have a recreation report in our packet, and I believe the Parks and Rec director is with us this evening. Do you want to add anything to your report, Director Waybrandt?
Yes, good evening and good hearing everybody again. It's been a while. Of course, we started off 2020 with really good revenues, really good programs, sellout, and all that good stuff. Then COVID hit. We managed to get through a baseball season, and we also managed to get the DNR Grant 1 finished on time, and we're in the process of getting the refunds. And then this fall, as you see in the report, we went out and tried to do a fall program, and we were overwhelmed with kids. We had 15 teams, and then we also had 15 classes. That's about 300 registrations. We do social distancing guidelines. A lot of things are taking place to prevent any kind of illness or virus. And it worked out for the last baseball season. We had no incidents. We have a good site director on site. I was down there quite often myself. Of course, we canceled September Fest, so next year we're going to put some lost time on that. Good news, we got sponsors for all the programs. Randy White Ford supported the whole fall program, which was a good thing. Today, we just got inquiries by parents because I guess junior Blackhawk football is starting back up. So we're losing a few kids back to that. There's only 2 as of this morning. So hopefully that's not a big domino effect there. Other than that, I'm open to questions.
Fred, are they playing soccer already? I saw some T-ball players on my way in. Has soccer started?
Soccer starts next week.
Next week? Okay.
Baseball starts tonight. Right.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Fred. We'll move on in our reports. Next, we have the Edna Burton Senior Center report. And Faye, would you like to make some comments on what's going on in the Senior Center?
Yes, I would. Today I had 2 virtual webinars that I participated in. One of them was about reopening the site, and it was conducted by a licensed master social worker from Washtenaw, Michigan, and she's based in Michigan. So she knows all the laws for Michigan, and she went over in the first webinar, all the things that are required for in the state of Michigan of things to do when we open, the liability waiver that needs to be signed, the contract tracing paper, the exposure and safety plans, everything that has to be written up and explained to staff and to the people when they come back. It was very, very informative. The second webinar was entitled Why You Should Wait Until 2021 to Open. I've heard of a lot of senior centers that are doing that. The one thing that really, really hit me hard was the fact that, yes, there's two kinds of things in the state of Michigan. One is an economic restart plan, and the other, and we are in stage 4 out of the governor's phases on that. The other one is a Michigan Safe Start restrictions by category. It's like a medical thing and COVID cases, and it's broke down by area. And unfortunately, Oakland County happens to only be in stage 2 on that because we are in the red zone. And she said that that is a sure sign to move the opening. Don't rush the opening. Once again, she also said to open in phases when we do. The reason that they recommend the January is because if an older person gets the flu and COVID at the same time, it's basically a death warrant. Especially because they are so immune compromised. And even if they get one and then they get the other, it's more than likely going to be fatal to them. So that's why they suggest January, because the flu is over. Hopefully there'll be a vaccine for COVID. And this one I was unaware of, and I read everything I can possibly, and I listen to everything I possibly can. It's called Understanding Medical Triage. And when hospital ICUs are full, if you have a 60-year-old who comes in that needs a bed with COVID, and at the same time you have a 30-year-old that comes in that needs a hospital bed with COVID, that 30-year-old is going to get it before the 60-year-old. Because they want to have more recoveries, and that 30-year-old has a better chance of recovering than the 60-year-old. So that one was kind of hit kind of hard. That was, hard for me to take. I am also I have another webinar on Friday, which is what to do if someone, once you open, comes in and has COVID. And there's actually a couple more that I am signed up with her, and she has a couple of pamphlets out that I will be printing off tomorrow that was part of her program with questions and answers that might not have been hit on during the webinars. So overall, they were very, very informative of what needs to be done, what you should do to wait. And the one thing she does say is, for our example, is if Clarkston opens, don't pressure that. Don't use that as a pressure point that Ortonville needs to open. Because if a senior person goes to multiple senior centers, more than likely now during this time, they're only going to go to one anyway. And there's so many restrictions right now anyway. Technically, the senior centers don't open until phase 6 of the governor's phases, and we are only in 4. So I guess we're just kind of playing it by ear. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, sounds good. It sounds like you're on top of everything, Faye, so we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, I did not get a CDBG report in my packet So I don't think one came, correct, Candy?
I have not received one, no.
Okay. So we'll move right on to trustees' reports. Bob, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, I apologize again because obviously there's a lapse. Mr. Denon, I tried to contact you during your report, and again, because my sound must be sort of flaky, I wasn't able to get through. I have a question, and I had sent Kathy about those free newspapers that get tossed out on the ground at the end of everybody's driveway. And apparently you must have called somebody because they stopped appearing at the end of my driveway, but I still see them at the end of my neighbor's driveways. I was just wondering what your contact with them was.
I called the number that shows up on the bag. I explained to them that we had previous court issues with the Free Press over these, and that if they really did not want to start that process again, it would be best if they stopped, and then I gave them a list of the addresses that I had. But if they would call the phone number that's on the bag and explain to the people that answer, number one, they're not a subscriber because the bag says to cancel or temporarily suspend as a subscriber. And I told them everybody I talked to and everybody I had an address for, as well as my own, I didn't get one in my driveway, and I live in Springfield because I gave them my address also because I hate that stupid thing out there.
It's just
Okay.
littered.
So what they need to do is call that number at the bottom of the bag, explain where they're at, explain they want it stopped, they don't want to hear about subscriptions, they're just tired of picking up the mess at the end of the driveway, and that if the person that answers the phone doesn't wish to transfer that to the distribution center, then the next thing is have them call me and I'll recontact them because I was very clear that we were not opposed to rewrite the editor of the newspaper a ticket for this stuff.
Okay.
Clearly, it is not acceptable to a lot of people. A lot of people just don't care. They pick it up and they throw it out. Some pick it up and read it. I'm tired of picking the thing up.
Yeah, and I know you handled it a couple of years ago because it stopped for a while.
Yeah, it did.
A couple months ago. So.
We had very good success, and Orion Township actually ended up in a big lawsuit with them. I did get the response on that as Orion did settle out of court, but they did agree to stop delivering it to the people that would call them and tell them to stop doing so.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
Did you have anything else, Bob?
Nope, that was it.
Okay. I am getting some background noise occasionally. It almost sounds like somebody's playing a game. So
no, it's somebody's getting notifications, like text notifications or something. And if you think that we can't all hear it, well, we all can.
Okay. Jason, would you like to be next?
I don't have anything tonight, thanks.
Okay. Dana?
All I have is that the Parks and Rec subcommittee, we did meet, and Fred updated us on the park and then on some other stuff that he'll be talking about later. And we had a good meeting.
Okay, thank you. Chris?
Well, I'm going to basically, because I happen to have Bill Denon here. Bill, do you want to give us anything with regards to what's going on regarding the Planning Commission and the projects going on? I missed the last meeting, so I'm not really up to date on what's the current status. So could you fill us in on that?
The Planning Commission has been busy. We have a number of projects that are in different phases. As you are familiar with your agenda tonight, that is one of them. But they did approve an amended final site plan last week for the 5-star storage, which will be the storage facility that is going to go in next to where McPhee's used to be, which you've probably driven by and see that's in the process of change. to become a different restaurant. So that was one issue, and the other one was the process for the conditional rezoning that you'll be discussing under new business this evening. We're trying to wrap up the Seymour storage facility and get them a certificate to occupy. I think we're getting real close. So that is moving forward. I'm trying to think what else was out there. I don't recall what else we had going on, but they're all in different stages of the approval process.
Which one is the Seymour, Bill?
On
Is that the one on
M15,
M15?
the one on M15,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, okay, because the other one's completely open now, right?
It is open. They are having really great success as far as renting spaces, which is really good for me because when people rent storage spaces, it's not out in their front yard somewhere. So that works for me just fine.
Yeah, you're right, and it's a beautiful facility. They did a great job there, I think. I think they did a wonderful job. I like the way it looks.
Yeah, it turned out well.
Thank you. Is that it for you, Chris?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we'll move right on to our treasurer's report. We have a new treasurer. Scott.
Glad to be back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I don't have a whole lot as far as the treasurer's report itself. We're very busy collecting taxes right now. We've got another week and a half, or a little bit more than a week left. I suspect that more than average people are going to be going delinquent this year, or just be paying a month or two late, just based on how many taxes we still have unpaid. We've seen some other trends. People are, regardless of COVID, somehow we're getting more people that have decided they want to come in and pay in person. And it's okay right now, but if we hit cold and flu season, it's going to be a bigger issue. I know I was in the office last year toward the end of December, when everybody thinks they have to pay their taxes to be able to claim them as a deduction, and it gets stacked up 6, 7 deep, just because people come in 6, 7 at a time. And although Candy's done a good job of placing these little markers on the floors of spacing apart, I've noticed already people just aren't following that. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. Another trend that I've seen is, because interest rates are so low, refinancing is very popular right now. And that can involve 2 or 3 phone calls to the treasurer's office, first coming from the homeowner during the application process, because they haven't, for whatever reason, they haven't kept on top, or they haven't saved the paperwork for the taxes that they have already paid. Then we get a call from the title company, and then maybe even from the mortgage company. And so I've got some ideas on how to handle that, but I'm going to wait till a couple more meetings before I start digging into that any further. But lastly, I got to go to the fire department's their ceremony there over on Sashaba, and it was short, but it was really great. I really enjoyed that, and I was fortunate to get some good pictures of it. To watching those, you just realize what a great team they are when they're all pushing on that vehicle to get it back into the garage. I was just really happy I was able to be there. So good job, Dave, you and your team. It just made me proud to be part of Brandon Township. So that's all.
Thank you, Scott. Clerk's report.
I want to hope everybody had a safe and happy Labor Day weekend. I think it was too short, but that's my opinion. Ballots are not in yet. We are taking several phone calls, people to the counter thinking they can get a ballot right now and vote early. We don't do early voting, and this is more for the general public. When we do get the ballots, they have to be tested, and then they will be mailed out early October. We don't have a set date because we're not sure when we're going to get the testing done. So that's about it. elections are going hot and heavy, and which is great. The more people vote, the better. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Candy.
Candy,
As far as
I have a question for Candy.
Sure.
Okay.
Are we going
Okay.
to send the ballots down to Oakland County again for counting?
Absolutely. I have to.
Do we get those back then? So we have a paper trail of what the votes were?
Yes, they still have them in their possession. The county any day will call me. They keep them 30 days. So
Okay.
I will be going down to pick them back up. I personally took them down, delivered them to the election commission, the election division. Head honcho was there with security, and they had security overnight. They started counting at 7 a.m., and they got done at 3 p.m., 50,000 ballots.
Oh.
I
Okay.
also had sent workers down, which I will do again. There is absolutely no way I can social distance workers in this building to count 3,000 ballots.
Sure.
We're
Okay.
going to hit close to 4,000 AV voters by November. We're at 3,500 right now, and every single day we're processing 15 to 25 people every day to be another permanent voter, which is wonderful. I'm glad
Yep.
they have that option.
All right. Thanks, Candy.
You're welcome.
Okay, looks like Chris probably has a question for you too, Candy.
Okay.
Yeah, Candy, I know there was talk during the primary, I believe it was, that you could actually, if you did mail-in voting, you could actually trace your ballot online. Is that correct? Are we going to be able to do that in November?
You can go to the Secretary of State website and check to see if your ballot's been received or sent to you. Yes. You've always been able to do that
Okay, so
for quite some time.
okay, so we will be able to see that our ballot's been actually counted and all that jazz.
Well, they're not counted until Election Day, but they can be received
Right.
in our office the day we are going to mail out. We've had people come in the same exact day and say, I want my ballot, and we gladly give it to them. If they stay here in the building, we have booths set up. They can vote it and turn it right back in, and then we process it as received as we get them. But they are secure under lock and key, not opened until Election Day. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Candy.
You're welcome.
Okay, as far as the supervisor's report, I hope everyone had a fantastic Labor Day weekend. And I also attended the blessing of the new fire trucks, and as Scott said, it was a great ceremony, so I appreciated being there. Today we received our new flagpole. So the flagpole is 35 feet tall, and we can put both the American flag and the Michigan state flag on the pole. So they removed the two poles that are in front of the building. And the facelift for the front of the building is moving along. The stone was just ordered, so we're waiting for that to show up, and then they'll be here to remove the brick. We had cleanup days on August 22nd. There was 115 loads that came out to the park to get disposed. In June, we had 130 loads, so that's a total of 245 that we collected this year, and that's compared to 234 last year and 272 in 2018. So we're right in the ballpark of what we normally get as far as large items for our cleanup days. So that's it for the supervisor's report. We can move on to correspondence.
I do like the new door, by the way.
Pardon me?
I don't know if you caught that or not. I said I do like the new door. The new door.
The new door.
The new front door. Isn't that a new door?
At the township offices?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
That's not?
No.
Really?
But we're glad you like
It looks brand new to me.
You
Yeah,
like-
isn't that something? That's beautiful. Brand new door that's not brand new. All right.
Glad you like it.
Okay. I'll continue on. For correspondence tonight, we have the Oakland County Community Health Network Declaration. And that's all we have for correspondence. So at this time, we can take citizens' comments on agenda items only. So are there any citizens that would like to make a comment on an agenda item? Please state your name. I don't see anybody waving at me.
Kathy, can I wait just for a second, just to go back? Part of that correspondence with Oakland County was also it's Suicide Prevention Month,
Yep.
and I'm sure they gave us that we should at least mention it.
Okay. For the correspondence, they sent us a resolution for National Recovery Month for substance use recovery and also Suicide Prevention Month.
I just know the BGYA, they sponsor a big program to help in that regard, so that's why I wanted to at least mention it.
Okay. All right. So one last chance. Are there any citizens that would like to make a comment on agenda items this evening? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on. We have no discussion items tonight, so we'll move right into our consent agenda. Tonight we have regular meeting minutes of August 10th, 2020, special meeting minutes of August 24th, 2020, regular bills in the amount of $186,730.98. Prepays in the amount of $96,352.99. Township benefits from payroll account of $36,278.65. And trustee timesheets in the amount of $832. That brings our grand total to $320,194.62. Dana, would you like to make the motion to approve the consent agenda? You're on mute, Dana.
Is that I just realized that. I don't want to make the motion because I'm missing something. You said regular meeting minutes of 8:10, and then you said, what did you say after that?
Special meeting minutes of 8:24.
I don't have the 24th in mind. Did it get put in
Oh,
later?
you know what? Maybe because you picked up your packet early. I don't know if that's it or not, but I do have those minutes in my packet.
You're breaking up.
I have the August 24th minutes in my packet. Did everybody else get them?
I have them.
Yeah,
I got them.
I just picked mine up today, though. I'll
Well,
make.
I picked up
Kathy.
on
Okay, thank you, Jason.
Thursday.
I'll support the motion.
Thank you, Candy.
Welcome.
So now on, can I request something?
Sure.
If something's added and someone's already picked up, because you can tell if they've picked up, that an email is sent, because I don't know to go back and pick up more. I picked up on Thursday, which is the regular day for pickup.
Right, and wasn't there something that we didn't have ready when you picked it
was
up?
just
And
the
I can't remember.
It was just the recreation stuff I was told, which I knew
Oh,
about
okay.
because we were at that meeting. So I think with virtual, people can't go back to I'm not going to check my box every day if I'm not told to. When with the holiday, we left on Friday and got back yesterday. So can I just request that we now on make sure if someone's
Yep,
picked up that they
we
get
can,
an
we
email?
can try our best to do that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other discussion on the consent agenda tonight? Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by Clerk Allen to approve the consent agenda as presented, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, roll call, please.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion
Okay.
carries unanimously. So that completes our consent agenda. We have no unfinished business this evening, so we can move right into new business. Our first item of new business is the 2020 millage rates. So the public should be happy to know that the millage rates are going to go down about half a mil. The fire department,
Yay.
the fire department is staying the same. The township operating went down slightly, and the police operating went down pretty close to half a mil, but not quite. So with that being said, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the 2020 millage rates as presented?
I'll make the motion as presented.
Okay. Who would like to second?
Or,
Okay, Marshall. Okay, any discussion on the tax rates for 2020? And these will begin in the December tax collection. Okay, seeing no other discussion, I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Marshall to approve the 2020 millage rates as presented. Okay, roll call, please.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Chris, you're on mute.
Cordella, Cordella,
Chris, are you going to vote on this item?
I don't know if everyone's fading in and out, but I'm fading in and out like unbelievable. I mean, I'm losing my audio all the time. So I didn't even hear what was said. What was said?
Okay, we have a motion by Clerk Allen and it is seconded by Trustee Marshall to approve the 2020 millage rates as presented.
Yes.
And you're up.
Definitely.
Yes? Okay.
okay.
Yes.
Marshall,
I think I already voted, didn't I?
No.
Nope.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. So we can move on to our next item, which is an amendment to conditional rezoning of 2370 Granger, first reading. So this was brought to us at a prior meeting, which we approved, and I believe the barn got moved, so they had to go back to the Planning Commission and ask to have it reapproved. Is that correct, Mr. Dinnan?
Yes, the planning commission at the last meeting approved the revised site plan. The reason this is back before you is that your previous approval for the conditional rezoning of this property had a site plan attached. So since they have revised that, then they needed to go back to the planning commission to get that part approved. And subsequently, then they need to have an amended conditional rezoning approval from the township board. Basically, you're right. The only thing that changed on this site was the barn to move from it was its previous location and has moved north to the northern pasture. It was reduced in size a little bit, and that's primarily what's changed. All the conditions of the previous conditional rezoning are still intact. The whole process is still the same as what it was before. So the only thing was a revision in the site plan of the barn location, and some of the associated issues like the driveway will be shortened up because the barn is now a little closer to the street, and some other minor modifications that were impacted by the relocation of the barn. And I do see that Rachel and Scott are also here tonight, who are the owners of the property.
All right, thank you, Mr. Denon. Did any of the trustees have any questions regarding this? Okay, would someone like to make a motion as stated?
I'll make that motion.
I'm sorry, was that you, Jason?
I think Scott beat me to it. I'll support it.
Oh, okay. I have a motion by Treasurer Broughton, and it is seconded by Trustee Rumble to accept for introduction, first reading, a revised site plan to the previously approved zoning and map change for parcel 0321-100-004, 2370 Granger Road, from RE Rural Estate to a conditional recreation per the attached documents that were submitted with the application. Any discussion from the board? All right, seeing none, roll call, please.
Cardella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. And then we will see this again for a second reading at our next meeting, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. It's a process. All right, next on our agenda is amendment to section 46-448, ground signs, second reading. So this has already come to the board. And this came to the board, back in March? Is this the one that we saw back in March?
Yes, just
and then
before the COVID hit.
Okay. And then it went to the Planning Commission?
And it went to the Planning Commission. It had the public hearing, and there was no public comments at that time. However, the Planning Commission thought that this was an appropriate amendment, which allows some of our agricultural zone, or not zone, but agriculturally used residential zone properties, as long as they meet the GAMP standards and get GAMP's approval, to put up a sign which would be similar to what is approved already in the ordinance to identify like a subdivision, a site condo, a multifamily, or a mobile home park. So it will, any of those signs, these signs will be allowed to be the same height, the same size, and the same setback, but they will advertise like riding stables or berry farms or those things that are typically associated with agricultural uses.
Dana?
So there was no changes since, I mean, this was a long time since we did the first reading. There was no changes from there and no comments, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'm good. I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Someone like to second? Was that you, Chris?
I second.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by trustee Cordella to adopt for second reading an amendment to Article 10, signs, Section 46-448A2, ground signs. Within all residential zone districts, only one ground sign shall be permitted at the primary entrance for the purpose of identifying a subdivision, site condominium, multiple family development, or mobile home park. A property in the RE Rural Estate District that meets the standards pursuant to the Right to Farm Act, being Act 93 or 1981, and complies with the GAMP standards shall also be allowed one sign per Table A that complies with the other provisions of this chapter. Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Marshall,
Yes.
Trumbull,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. So that ordinance will go into effect. When will the effective date be, Bill, approximately?
It'll be in the paper this coming weekend,
Oh.
and the effective date will be next Monday.
Yeah, September 14th. I see that now. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you for coming to our meeting, Bill.
Thank you. I'm going to let you have fun all by yourselves now. Have a nice evening.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Bye, Bill.
Aye.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, next we have the police liaison contract.
And I'll make-
same as. Go ahead, Dana.
I was just gonna say, I'll make that motion to approve the 2021 intergovernmental agreement to provide a police liaison officer for the Brandon School District from September 8th, 2020 through June 17th, 2021 as presented.
I'll support.
Okay, so this contract is very similar to last year. The dates have been changed a little bit. The amount has been increased a little bit because our contract with the county increased a little bit for 2021, so that half of it. Lieutenant Glover could not be here this evening, but he also is in support of this contract.
He is here.
He's here.
Oh, he is here.
He is here.
I am.
All right. Lieutenant Glover, would you like to speak to this?
No, other than that, the agreement so far, like last year's worked out quite well. It's a position that I definitely don't want to lose. I mean, we spoke about that when we were talking about the budget. And like I said, it does save us some money with that position because I'm able to offset on the days that he's not in the school here at the substation, especially with overtime. I think already just for 2020, I think I've used him close to about $11,000 worth that would have kept me. Otherwise, I would have had to hire the overtime. So with Mike filling that spot, it's saved us about close to 11,000 so far, and it's early.
Okay, thank you. Did anyone else have any questions on this item or discussion? Okay, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by clerk Allen to approve the 2020-2021 intergovernmental agreement to provide a police liaison officer for Brandon School District from September 8th, 2020 through June 17th, 2021 as presented. And seeing no further discussion, roll call, please.
Trumbo,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. So I will go ahead and work on getting that signed and put in our contract book, give it to Candy. So next is the fire authority appointment. So when
Wait,
our treasurer, am
No,
I
you
in the
skipped
wrong
the
one?
wage
you
progression.
Oh,
skipped
wage
Kathy.
progression. Sorry, I skipped. Next is the wage progression policy amendment.
I'll make that motion, Kathy.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
Support.
Was that you, Bob?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, all we are doing is adding another sentence to our salaried employee wage progressions, and that is the salaried employees' wage progressions do not pertain to a new supervisor, treasurer, and or clerk. And we spoke about this at a previous meeting. Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by trustee Marshall to approve the amendment to salaried employees' wage progression of 2.2 wage schedule in the employee benefits manual as presented. Yes, trustee DePalma.
I'm just curious because it says a new supervisor, treasurer, and or clerk. So does that mean if they're returning? I guess I'm confused. Well, because it's new salaried employees, so that's why you're saying the word new.
Yes, because
Okay.
a returning official, we cannot lower their wages.
Okay.
Plus, their
So
term
that-
ends at 4 years, and then they're re-elected, so they're actually coming in as a new.
Okay.
In that
And they're,
case, they might be considered new.
Correct.
Yeah.
I was just trying to make sure that like they never took place in the progression, so that's why I didn't know if new needed to be removed. But by the time they're there for that many years, they're already past the progression anyways. I guess that makes sense
Right.
then.
Right.
I just want to make sure they were never part of the wage progression. That's why I wasn't sure if new needed to be there. But, okay.
Yeah, because this only pertains to this only pertains to new employees.
What'd you say, Scott?
I was going to say, I see how it could be confusing. There's really no reason for it at all. It could just say it does not pertain to supervisor, treasurer, or clerk. It doesn't need to have those extra words in there to a new.
Yeah, I don't think it matters either way.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's.
Is everybody in agreement about leaving the new in, or would we like to see that word out?
I'm gonna leave it in as far as I'm
We
concerned.
can keep it on.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by trustee Marshall to approve the amendment to salaried employees' wage progression of 2.2 wage schedule in the employee benefits manual as presented. So that would include the word new. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Trumbo,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, now we can do appointment to the fire
I'll make that motion to appoint Scott Broughton to the Fire Authority with his term of office beginning September 9th, 2020 and ending November 20th, 2020.
Support.
Who supported? Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
Marshall.
Do the voice. Okay. I have a motion by Trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by Trustee Marshall to appoint Scott Broughton to the Fire Authority with his term of office beginning September 9th, 2020 and ending November 20th, 2020. Candy, these positions does that have to be sworn in? I don't think so.
Oh, yes, I did it like 8 years. I will double check my book and get with Scott the case.
All right, sounds good.
Sure.
Scott, are you good on being on the Fire Authority?
I'm actually proud to be on it. I just wish it was for a longer term because I think this is just a ceremonial. I don't even know if they're going to meet again during that time. So.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're okay with it.
Yes, thank you though, Dana.
Okay. Again, we have a motion by Trustee DePalma and seconded by Trustee Marshall as stated. Seeing no further discussion, roll call, please.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Sherman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Now we can move on to Board of Review appointment. So with Scott being treasurer, we not only lost our appointment on the Fire Authority, but now we have an opening on our Board of Review. So Jason Galt has filled out an application for that position, and I would like to appoint him as the interim alternate
I'd like to
for
make
the rest
the
of the term. Okay, that's Candy making the motion.
to appoint.
I'll support.
Okay. I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee DePalma to appoint Jason Galt as an alternate member to the Brandon Township Board of Review with his term of office beginning September 9th, 2020 and ending December 31st, 2020.
He will need to get sworn at.
Yeah. Okay, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Sherman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. All right. Moving right along, we are at the election budget amendments.
Yeah, not fun to do, that's for sure. Especially due to the COVID, we've had to do a lot of extra work, and did not have enough workers for the August election because I had 25 people drop out. But I need to get more money in order to hire more and make sure that this election goes smooth.
Would someone like to make the suggested motion?
So moved.
Support.
And that was you, Jason, right?
Yes.
Okay. I have a motion by Trustee Marshall and it is seconded by Trustee Rumble to approve the budget amendments as presented with a total of $18,500 coming from carry forward. Any discussion or questions for the clerk? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Trumbull,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Button,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Herman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously again.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, recreation, park maintenance tractor. So the subcommittee met. The Parks and Rec director was given $4,500 from residents Dan and Luann Mann for a tractor. He had some money in his budget for a tractor. He's found a tractor. So the motion is to buy the tractor. Fred, do you have anything to add?
Well, I'd like to put across that the tractor is a multi-purpose tractor. It is going to have a finished mower on the back end, the widest in space, such as soccer fields and baseball outfield. The current mower we have is holding up pretty good, and that's good for the Phase 3. It's a library, and it works around trees, things like that, a lot quicker. The tractor also multi-purpose. We own a York Lake. It also will be used for grading the parking lot. It also will be used for mulching and any other help any new site development. It's a multi-purpose. It's got low hours. It's a good deal. It's a good opportunity to purchase it at this time, and it will save the township hauling money, fundraising money for rentals that I use every year. Over all the years that I've been working at that park, we could have bought this tractor and not had any rental. So that's where I'm at with that. We appreciate a yes vote on that.
Question for you, Fred. I can't tell from the photograph. Is that a box blade on the back, or is that a mower?
Well, it comes with a roller tiller. That's a 6 foot wide roller tiller.
Okay, all right. And that comes with it along with the front loader, obviously?
Yeah.
And we already have a mower to fit it?
Yes, I have a York Lake and a box scraper that I purchased at yard sales for, very low money, because I've been borrowing Brian Harrison's tractor that's a Kubota as well. It's just a little bit smaller than the one that shows in that picture. So just the other day, I borrowed it to York Lake around the volleyball court so we can get some seed down. And he had called me up and had to have it back right away, so I put stop.
Yeah.
We had to stop.
My question was though, the existing mower that you have, that'll fit this tractor?
Yes.
Okay.
What year is this tractor, Fred?
What year? 2013.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hey, Fred.
Bob, did you ask the question, will the existing mower fit the tractor?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
because
yeah, we do have a mower out there, but it's a brush hog. It will fit the outfit, but we'll have to look for a used finished mower. Currently, the attachments that we have do fit that tractor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my question was about the mower because I wasn't sure if we had one that would work or if it would be too big for this tractor.
We got a brush hog on it.
Okay.
So, yeah, the finished mower is something that's going to be right around $500 to $800.
Yeah, I might suggest maybe you check with TSC and see if they want to donate something to the community.
Yeah, I can do that. I get pretty good luck with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Chris?
Fred, I know that you're gonna.
Yeah.
Now you're going to need a place.
Fred,
to
are you talking about the mower deck? The tractor?
Yeah, attaches to the PTO behind the tractor.
Okay, that's not underneath the tractor. It's not a mower
No.
deck, as I would think of it as it's on the back side of it, and it's a mower.
Yes, it's a finish mower.
Yeah, I know. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
Okay.
we have a brush hog for the tractor, but we have to purchase a finish mower yet.
Right.
Right.
And he'll still have
That's what
money
I was
left
getting.
over to do that.
And another thing that tractor is going to be good for is the 8 acres across the street. We can maintain that if you wish to, to a certain point. And then also you have the 5 acres that's attached to the current park that can be also maintained.
Yeah, it needs to be brush hogged pretty badly because the Russian olives are taken off.
Right. And we have a brush hogger on site that will fit that tractor.
Great.
Fred, I know that you're going to have to now request somewhere to store this thing. Where will you store it in the meantime?
During the winter time, I'm pretty sure, I didn't measure it, that it'll fit in the baseball garage when we're not doing baseball season, of course. But in October, I'll be coming to the board. We have some ideas, the park subcommittee, we discussed it, and to develop a pole barn in the near future.
Right, but immediately where will you store it, though?
It'll be stored at the park under lock and key and tarp during the winter.
Okay. Lastly, I'd just like to throw in, I got to meet Dan Mann after they did some work at the Historical Society, and they really give a lot to the community. So we need to make sure that we're giving them a proper thank you for what they're doing here.
Absolutely. When we have the grand opening for the DNR grants, there will be some really good things said about numerous people, but plus I understand with the donation that he's done. When he told me I had that, it brought a tear to my eye. I was really surprised that somebody would do that for us, and it was very nice.
Yeah.
I'll
I
make
agree,
them-
Scott.
Thank you.
I'll get a card, and that way we'll send it around so everybody can sign it.
Okay.
I can also nominate him for that Parks and Recreational Community Service Award as well.
Okay, good idea.
Good move.
Chief Quappa said we can use it at the property on 15 too in the chat.
I'll teach him how to operate it.
Right.
Okay, would someone like to make the motion?
I would be happy to make the motion to approve purchasing
I'll
the
support.
tractor cost of $13,500 for park maintenance, $9,000 from line 101-732-977.000, and $4,500 from the donated funds.
I'll support.
Okay. All right, I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee DePalma to approve purchasing a tractor at the cost of $13,500 for park maintenance, with $9,000 from line 101-732-977.000 and $4,500 from the donated funds. Okay, is your hand up, Dana?
Yeah, and Chief just said he's in learning Zoom, but then he also said it might be a nice idea for us to come up with a sign for those at the park who donated time and resources, and I think that's a great idea.
Yep.
It's in the works.
Excellent.
Okay. Fred said it was in the works. Any other comments or discussion before we vote on this motion? All right, seeing none, roll call, please.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Button,
Yes.
Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously.
I
We had
really great appreciate it, and I like to welcome, and I'm happy to see that Scott's on board, and it was nice to get a yes vote from our treasurer.
And
Right.
probably, if anybody wants to ride the tractor and do some work on it, you might welcome that as well.
Is it a 4-speed?
Set up a training day.
5-speed.
I have 2 of my own, thank you. I'm set.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Me too.
Okay, we completed our new business. Are there any citizens that would like to make a comment this evening? Please state your name if you would like to speak. Okay, I don't see anyone wanting to make a comment this evening, so are there any board members that would like to make a comment this evening? Treasurer Broughton?
Yes, one of the taxpayers that came in today was one of our longtime, we know them from the Sleepy Hollow group, and I just want everybody to know, I stepped outside the office and spoke with her for a little while, and their woes are continuing there. And I know there's been discussion when I was off the board for a while, but I just want everybody to know that this problem has not gone.
Sorry to hear that.
Scott, do you know if any police reports have been made?
I believe there have been, Bob.
Okay.
Yes, and the police reports, most of them recently have been for suicide attempts, and Lieutenant Glover, correct me if I'm wrong, we've been sending those to our attorney to see if we can do something about a couple of the residents being probationers. And he does not seem to think we have much of a leg to stand on, because what the reports are on are suicide attempts. It's not
But Kathy, just
aggressive behavior.
Kathy, to be clear though, this isn't something that's gone on inside the home. This is out in the road.
And I know of 2 instances that weren't just suicide, that were by the probationers that the police were involved in.
Lieutenant Glover, maybe you could chime in on what kind of incidents we've been seeing out there.
Well, we have had a couple of assault and batteries between residents. We've also had numerous suicide attempts or talk of suicide. One incident did make it outside recently, to where the guy was ranting and raving outside of the residence.
Right.
I would say the last probably 10 out of 12 times that we've been there have involved the same individual who is a probationer. And if he was not in that home, our calls would be less than half of what we're responding to now. I mean, every time we go to that house, it involves that same individual. And he is a probationer, not a parolee. But, we have been to that house a lot, and it's involving mainly suicidal contacts. We've had a couple of assault and batteries, but mainly that and medicals, of course, which we get at all the group homes.
If I could add something. Hello? If I could add something.
Sure, go ahead, Bob.
And I know I brought this up, maybe a couple years ago, and I'm not doing this to direct at that particular facility, but I want to address any facility in the township that causes a number of events to occur. So this would include the fire department, say if you had a fire safety issue at a building that would not take care of the issues. Anytime we get, and I'm not sure how you'd word it would have to go through the township attorney, but after X number of calls, we start charging him for the calls. So it's not a penalty, it's not a fine, but it's a service fee for the service we're providing on a repeated basis. Sort of like alarms, house alarms. There are some communities that you have you get 2 free alarms, and after that, they start getting charged for them.
Yeah, Bob, I mean, we have several of our communities that have those type of calls, especially like the alarm calls. You know, if you're wasting the police department's time by repeatedly going to the same house or same business for a false alarm, they're charged after the second alarm.
Exactly.
And you know, that 301 Sleepy Hollow, our calls are almost weekly there now, if not multiple times a week, to that address, which we never had before.
Right. So Kathy, maybe something.
So is that a local ordinance that we would need to adopt in order to do that?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Dana.
So have you been just talking to Stuart, Kathy, or have we reached out to the attorney who helped us with when we were going through the process of writing up our agreement? Because I know when this was still first brought to our attention, when it hit the paper back with the assault a few months ago, I had asked that we don't let this sit. I want it researched and figured out what we can do, because I feel that probationers are the same as parolees, and I really feel that there's got to be something that we can do. I like the idea of the fine, but I don't think it's going to hurt him. That guy's got so much money. I don't think it's going to stop him. I want to see if we can do something back to our agreement. And if Stuart doesn't think so, I don't know if we've reached out to the attorney who represented us, but I'd like to get back to is it MMRA, and find out who the attorney would be, or if our previous attorney can help us.
Yeah, Dana,
I went that route, Dana, through MMRMA. The attorney that was working with us on the case originally no longer works for the same firm, and to go forward on this case, we would have to pay a firm additional funds to work for us. So we're turning it over to Stuart.
Well, if Stuart doesn't think it's going to happen, I think it's worth to see if someone through the MMRA. I just think that something more needs to be done, and I don't know, but I don't think I want to take no for an answer.
Dana, just for clarification, I want to make sure everybody knows I'm not suggesting this fine goes towards just this Sleepy Hollow address. That anything that requires extra calls or extra responses from either the sheriff's department or the fire department. I just want to make sure that's.
I agree. I understand that, Bob, because you got to treat everybody the same. I've never been about treat one different, but I'm just saying I want to see more done for the Sleepy Hollow issue, because I think it's a loophole, and I think we need to stop it.
We've been sending Stuart the police reports. We can encourage him to maybe consult with someone else to see if there's anything more that we can do, because we were all under the impression that a probationer would be considered like a parolee.
Correct. I figured anybody coming out of the legal system.
It's gotten to the point out there where I'm not talking about just not like having this facility next door, but it's gotten to the point where homeowners are afraid to leave their property, and that doesn't work for me in Brandon Township.
Hey, Dana?
Sorry, I was telling my son to turn on my light in here.
Okay.
Well, reference 301 Sleepy Hollow. I mean, that is supposed to be a locked facility. And how a guy gets out and he's screaming for somebody to kill him, or that he's going to kill himself out in the street is unacceptable.
Right.
I don't know how that guy gets out of that house and, meanders around the neighborhood. I mean, nobody knows what he's capable if a citizen happened to be out walking, what that guy might do. And this seems to be the same guy over and over. I would say at the bare minimal, maybe Stewart needs to send the owner a letter and show his name and all the reports that I've sent him, that one person seems to be the common factor with what's going on there. And maybe they need to transfer that guy somewhere else.
And what about the like contacting the state of Michigan with license violations? Because getting out of the locked house, I would think is a license violation.
If I get a hold of that report, I could make a complaint through Lara.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, Greg, if you could send that particular report to me, I'd appreciate it.
I'll have to look that one up. I know I've sent all of them over, and
Right.
Stewart should have a copy of all of them.
Okay.
But I'll do some digging on it and see if I can find that one.
Okay,
It was fairly recent. It might have been late August.
Okay. Are there any other board members that would like to make a comment this evening?
Could I just ask that maybe you give us an update at when we meet, because we haven't heard anything about this in months. And had Scott not talked to a resident, we wouldn't be talking about it tonight, and that really kind of bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
No news is good news is what they say, but I think we should be updated. Thank you.
Okay.
I agree, Candy. I've asked a few times myself instead of in meetings about that incident when I see stuff in the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kathy, I normally don't typically give the citizen things on some of the group homes, but because this one has been such a problem and has been at the forefront for months, I have given them a couple of those just so that those surrounding residents are aware.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Are there any other comments from the board? Okay, seeing none, would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I saw Jason raise his hand. Would someone like to second? Okay, Scott. So I have a motion by Trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by Treasurer Broughton to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously. The meeting is adjourned.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.